Alright. This is gonna be part 3 to what if Deku was a todoroki. Now, I just gotta explain a few things. I said I would upload last week. My state went into COVID lockdown, so I couldn't because my parents were home or whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, sorry for it being late. I might try and record another video today and post it today, so it might be 2, but don't count on it. Alright. So last time I left it off, it was Todoroki and Izuku facing off. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Now, let's start it. Izuku was looking into Todoroki's eyes along with Shoto. It wasn't a death glare. They were just looking at each other, and a small grin appeared on both boys' faces as soon as Midnight said start. Todoroki sent a huge ice spike, nothing compared to the one he did with Sero, but something big against Izuku. He moved to the side, barely dodging it, just getting a small cut on his cheek. Izuku sent a fireball his way. Todoroki countered with his own. The fireballs collided, causing a bit of steam to kind of rise from the cold fireball and the hot one. Izuku started running, trying to hop over Todoroki's ice to get in close combat fight, because he knew he would be better at that than him. So he tries to do this, but it is ineffective. Shoto creates another ice defense against him. He tries to counter with his own ice, but it doesn't work too well. Shoto is pushing Izuku back into a corner with ice on his right and in front of him, with the barrier being to his left and behind him. Izuku starts creating small ice balls in his hand with his exploding ice. He starts throwing it over the things, hoping that it could somehow hurt Todoroki in some way, causing him to slow down or completely stop. It hits Todoroki in the back after the third one, and it pierces, but it doesn't go all the way through, and it caused him to went in pain and kind of stopped his assault. Izuku takes his chance, and he gets it over the wall by creating a ice staircase. He goes in and tries to hit Todoroki, but Todoroki, in all of his pain, somehow manages to create an ice barrier to stop him. Shoto then uses his fire side to try and burn Deku away, but it's not really effective due to the fact that he does have a fire resistance due to his quirk. But it is pushing him back, and it's also blinding him, so Todoroki does have a chance. He sweeps Izuku off his feet, getting him to the ground. He tries to throw a punch, but Izuku rolls out of the way, barely dodging. He then punches Todoroki in the gut, causing more pain from his wound on his back. He then creates some exploding ice on his chest, sending him back up, causing him to slam into his own ice wall. Not injuring besides the force behind it. Izuku rushes at him, punching him in the stomach once again, causing the injury that he got from the exploding ice to bleed even more. He then punches him in the chest, winding him a little bit. Todoroki falls to one knee. Well, Shoto. You know what, if I refer to Todoroki, it's Shoto, and if I refer to Izuku, it's just Izuku. Alright? It gets too confusing sometimes. Shoto's on one knee now, and Izuku says, alright, time to finish this. He kicks Todoroki in the head and then uses his ice to force Todoroki out. And that's it. Todoroki is pushed out of the arena with an injury on his back and what will soon be 3 bruises on his chest and 2 on his stomach, and a minor concussion. Izuku, he's panting a lot. He's kind of got his hands on his knees, kind of going That was a good fight. Bit short, but also a good fight. Midnight says, well, Izuku Todoroki wins. Recovery Girl gets on scene, drags Todoroki to, her office and heals her. Izuku comes with her. He offers to help, but she says no, it's fine, dragging Todoroki. They both get healed. Shoto gets the wound on his back healed, which kind of leaves a small scar, but nothing too noticeable. Izuku gets his bruises healed and, a bit of just time to cool down. Now, for everyone else's fight, doesn't really matter too much, because they're not the main character. Izuku's fight with Ito kind of ends the same way as it did with Todoroki. He just freezes his exhaust, and yeah. Marceline, her fight, yeah, she went against Todoroki, Tokiyami, and, like Momo, she got pushed back too fast by Tokiyami's hard and fast attacks with Dark Shadow. But anyway, now on to the main event. Izuku Todoroki versus Bakugo Katsuki. Kind of sound like All Might announcing it. Not really. Whatever. President Mike's going, alright, this is the final fight of the sports festival. Hope you got your popcorn and all your snacks, because this is going to be an interesting one. Aizawa says, Mike, can you please be quiet? I'm sorry, but loud is all I got. Aizawa just sighs and wishes he could fight Mike at this point, but he's too injured to. So, now, onto the fight. Bakugo's gritting his teeth and also growling unconsciously or subconsciously, I don't know, due to the fact that he just wants to knock Izuku down a peg, even though he's not really that all high and mighty. Midnight says, alright, start. Bakugo starts going up into the air, kind of orangish lightning with a few explosions around him, kind of activating. I'm pretty sure I gave Bakugo one for all. Yeah. And then he starts spinning at very fast speeds, creating a bit of a wind gust, but nothing too much. He starts spinning and then he starts heading towards Izuku. Howitzer impact! He screams. Izuku, that was originally in a fighting stance, kind of just gets up a little bit from his stance and, puts both his hands out and just a huge thing of blue fire exits his palms, Bakugo heading straight towards it, freezing him into a ball of ice. He falls to the ground and it kind of looks like he's frozen in place, which he is. Izuku just proceeds to push him out and yeah, that's it. And Midnight says, Izuku Todoroki wins. President Mike says, wow. He says, wow, that was a fast fight. If young Izuku didn't do that, he might have been toast. As Ola says, Bakugo Katsuki just was too predictable. He was going for a straight attack, and Izuku took effect, noticed that, and took action. Not really much else to it. President Mike says, wow, you seem to take the fun out of everything. Aizawa just kind of grumbles at that. And yeah. Now the awards are given out. As in third place, Tokiyami. Second place, Bakugo. And in first place, Izuku Todoroki. Now, after that, everyone goes home. A few people congratulate Izuku on his win. This includes Todoroki, Marceline, Ida, Uraraka, Kirishima, pretty much most of Class 1A. And, even a few Class 1B like Kendo and, yeah, a few others. I don't know. But yeah. Next, I'm pretty sure that occurred on a Friday, so after the weekend, on Monday, they all arrive at class. Aizawa comes in with his bandages off. They all say, "Wait, Aizawa, what happened?" He says, recovery girl went a bit overboard with the healing. Whatever. Alright. I'm here today because this will be the most important decision of your hero career. If you do something wrong in this, your hero career will certainly fall and crash like a plane. Everyone's worried, like, what is it? What could it be? There's a sweat drop going around everyone, like, oh my god, what could it be? And he says, I was very bad at this in my schooling days. Someone else had to help me with it so I could actually do it. I'm going, what? Even Aizawa couldn't do it? What is it? He says, alright, Midnight will even have to help us with it. They say, what, Midnight? And he says, alright, today you'll be picking your hero names. Everyone kind of goes, the whole room just goes silent for a little bit, like, you can even hear a cricket, Even though there isn't any in the building, it's just silent. And goes, yeah, woo! He said, we get to pick our hero names. And Aizawa says, I hope you pick well, because this will stay with you forever. Go, oh, I kind of see the reason why it's so important. And he goes, yeah. As Midnight walks in and says, okay, I'll be helping you with your hero names. He goes, yeah. Everyone's name is exactly the same. Marceline's is going to be Snow White, because that's the only thing I could think of. Midnight says, wow, that's a good name. I loved watching that movie when I was younger. And she says, yeah, I liked it too. And it's Izuku's turn. His name will be the hot and cold hero, Izuku. And everyone thinks, wow, that's original. He says, I couldn't think of a name. And plus, this seemed good. Next was Shoto. He did Shoto, and yeah. Now they pick their internships. There are not really too many ice heroes around, so Izuku didn't think he could learn much, since his ice is quite unique. Mainly fire, he did get a recommendation from Endeavor, but he was looking for other fire heroes because he didn't really want to go with Endeavor. But he kind of realized that he could probably learn more from Endeavor than the lower rank fire heroes, so he just decided to go with to do it with his brother. Now, when they actually do start the internships, the first week of the internships, I'm pretty sure it's 2 weeks, yeah. Endeavor shows them how to run an agency. So if they do end up making one, they know how to use it. They know how to do it. This just includes paperwork, how to do things after you do eventually take down a villain, and yeah. Which they find very, 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 very boring. But then the next week, he decides to teach them how different ways of taking down villains, be it injuring them to the point where they can't fight back, which is mainly what Endeavor does, knocking them out, and a few other ways. After that, he teaches them the prominence burn. If you don't know what it is, it's a special move of Endeavor. He condenses fire into a singular point, and eventually it is released, causing a huge burst of fire, causing huge damage to a certain area. Shoto can do this. He can somewhat achieve the same effects, condensing ice in one hand and condensing fire on the other. Now, the damage is almost half from what he can with the fire, but the ice can also make up with that. Izuku, he can also do the same, but different. He can create a condensed orb of fire. He can create a condensed orb of his blue fire, which release, causing a kind of frost effect on the area. He can also do the same with his ice, but causing most things to singe around him. But yeah. They both learned this, and it is quite good. They now know a move that can easily take down villains. Endeavor told them to never use this unless they deem it absolutely necessary. Such as if their lives are in danger, civilian lives are in danger, and an area is threatened to be destroyed. They understand this greatly because their training area that before was a very clean looking area with not much damage to it. Now almost looks like a crater. They understand this very well. But now, on the last day, Endeavor decides to take them patrolling to show them what he actually does and how most of hero work is actually like. They're doing this they are patrolling for about an hour and 15 minutes, and they had to do it for 2 hours. Now they're doing this in Hersu City because this is Endeavor's favorite area. Because although there isn't many big crimes around this area, the ones when they are huge. These are bank robberies, hostage situations where he gets most of where he can get a lot of credit and also a lot of work done and a huge reward. So he's patrolling. He says, "Now take a right here. This is my route." So yep, they say, "Yes, Dad." But then they can hear a scream in the distance saying, "Oh, what the hell is that thing? It just crushed my car." And Endeavor says, "Huh?" He says, you two stay here." Actually, he says, "Sorry. You two just follow that road down there and take a right. I gotta go handle this situation." So, yeah. Endeavor uses fire to fly over to the area. And by what he finds is Nomus overrunning the area. Destroying cars, flipping them, fire everywhere, windows shattered. Even a few people are severely injured, and he can even see a dead body. Now back with Izuku and Shoto. They can hear more screams coming from a different area. They decide to follow the road and go to that area. What they see is heroes such as Mount Lady, Dead Arms, Kamui Woods, fighting off Nomus. They're trying to restrain them, but it's not being too effective. They're just running rampant, destroying things, even killing civilians. They say, "What? Why are the Nomus here?" They rush forward, and Izuku creates one of his ice spears and puts an exploding tip on it from its exploding ice. He throws it up the Nomu, and when it hits it, it kind of does that thing like where it explodes in the body and ice pierces out everywhere. This immediately killing the Nomu due to the fact that it didn't have regeneration like the one in the USJ. And the heroes look over and say, "Oi, kid, what are you doing? You just killed it." Serious got a cough. Sorry, my throat is just a bit sore. Anyway, they say they're called Nomus. They're just shells of people. They have multiple cracks, and they're just being controlled by someone. So, you've seen how they are. They're just breaking out of your restraint so easily. We have to kill them. The heroes that such as Mount Lady says, "What? We can't kill them. That's unhero-like. And plus, there's people around." They say, "It doesn't matter. More people are gonna die if we don't." Some heroes agree, but most don't. Some still try to restrain them, which is proving to be ineffective. But yeah. Eventually, the Shoto and Izuku split up. They get forced into different areas, and Izuku's pretty much trying to freeze all Nomus that he can, trying to avoid killing him because that can terrify most civilians, and it could also get him arrested for killing things or something. he is running by an alleyway when he hears a scream and a horrifying and like a blood, I don't know, and a squelch and the sound of a sword going through something. He looks back to see Stain, one foot on Ida's back with a sword going through his spine, with a sword going through his back. Izuku says, "What?" And he rushes forwards, punching Stain in the face, sending him back just a little bit, but sending him to the ground. Ida's paralyzed from Stain's quirk, and what he could see, the sword had gone through Ida's spine. By the looks of it, he's going to be paralyzed from the waist down. Stain gets up, rubbing his cheek just a little bit. He says, "A fake hero. What, you've come to save your friend? I doubt you will never. You can't save him now. He's gonna suffer the same fate as his brother. Forever." Stain rushes at him with his sword in hand, ready to stab Izuku in the stomach. Izuku barely dodges and sends a ball of fire at Stain, causing a little bit of ice to form around his stomach area, but it easily just breaks it off. He says, "You think those puny attacks can actually hurt me? I have killed hundreds of heroes that are stronger than you, and they haven't left a single scratch on me." He starts letting out his bloodlust, frightening Izuku. He says, what are you?" He says, "I am Stain, the hero killer, the last person you'll ever see." He rushes at Izuku again, but Izuku is smart enough to create a wall, seeing that his fire didn't work too well last time. He's quickly rushing away from Stain, trying to get rid of any distance that he might have had, so he can have as much area as he needs to create ice and make it swerve, whatever. Stain says, you can run, but you can't hide." He blitzes past Izuku, cutting a bit of his cheek, causing a bit of blood. He decides that he will come back for the blood on his next go by. He quickly rushes back, trying to lick the blood, but Izuku barely dodges. But Stain, prepared for this, cuts a deep gouge into Izuku's neck, which also kind of goes into his windpipe a little bit. This will definitely leave a scar on him. He's finding it hard to breathe, but he will survive. He's holding his neck, trying to stop the bleeding. And Stain says, "See, you have succumbed to your fate. You will die soon, by my hands. You fake hero." Izuku does a prominence freeze, I guess I'll call it that, with his ice, sending a huge wave of ice, freezing Stain in place for now. He speed dials, Todoroki. He says, Todoroki, Stain, help. He's hurt me and Ida, along with another hero. Get Dad to help us. Help me come to this place. Immediately hangs up, and because Stain is starting to break out, Todoroki's going, "What? Oh crap." He immediately calls Endeavor, saying, "Izuku's in trouble with someone else. Quickly, come here." Endeavor's going, "Oh crap." Endeavor, worried for his son's life, he tells the heroes that they have to deal without him. He quickly rushes to the area, along with Shoto. Stain breaks out, letting out even more bloodlust. This is just... They can feel it from 2 blocks away. Izuku right in the center of it. He is frozen in place. He can't move, even if he wanted to. Racing in his head, "Ida, I'm sorry. I tried to help you, tried to save you. Then he snaps at me, like, what am I doing? I can still fight, I'm fine. I just gotta cut. He says, I gotta fight. Fight. Stain rushes at him, and it's as if it's slow motion. Izuku's putting his hand up, ready to send another fireball. He thinks, as long as I can just wait, as long as Dad or Shoto can get here, I can save Ida and myself and that native guy. Stain's sword's about an inch away from his hand. If he doesn't, it goes through his hand and will pretty much pierce him through the head. But that's when something hits Stain from the side. Multiple sharp things. They hit him into a building beside them, and he goes crashing through the wall, breaking the bricks and landing. This is Coruscant bleeding on the side. Izuku, the bloodlust that has now died down a little bit, he looks to the side to see Shoto panting. He says, I made it. I'm dying, huh? But then they hear the kind of a rumble or whatever. Bricks falling to the ground. They see Stain getting up. Bleeding, his blood pouring out of his side. And they can see a little bit of deformation on his side as well. Looking like he had broken ribs. Then he gets up saying, you really think you could kill me? I am Stain, the hero killer. I will destroy this hero society and rebuild it. Man, that voice needs to cough. But then a brick falls from the thing, hits him on the head, falls to the ground, and they can just see his eyes roll back into his skull, and he falls to the ground. The last thing Izuku sees is Shoto running towards him, and he kind of blacks out due to oxygen loss and a few bruises around him. Next thing you know, he wakes to hear beep, 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 beep. He feels something jump onto him and hug him. He goes, He opens his eyes to see his brother hugging him, along with his friend Marceline hugging him as well. He sees his father looking down at him with a small smile, but his arms are still crossed. And doctor says, you two, can you please stop hugging the patient? He has multiple bruises all over his body, cuts everywhere, and a broken rib. You might be causing more pain than good. And Izuku says, agreed. Can you please get off me? They kind of get back up, and a bit of air comes out of Endeavor Smith going like, when you see something funny, you go, like, that. Yeah, he says, my boy, I'm glad you're okay. Young Shoto tells me you took down Stain. Well, you did put up quite a good fight against him. Izuku, pretty much completely ignoring Endeavor's words, looking at the doctor, he says, how's Ida Tenya? And he says, yes, that boy. He was admitted to this hospital. He is currently still not awake, but a third of his spinal cord was severed. The damage will be hard, but the damage was a lot, but it has been repaired. But unfortunately, it will be very long until he'll be able to run and walk the same way as he did before. He should be waking up within a few days. But do not expect much of him, but then he'll have to go through a month of physical therapy just to be able to walk properly. So yeah, and Izuku, he's happy by hearing this. And he says, okay, that's good. And, everyone's happy that it turned out different from the original canon. Ida's more injured than last time. Izuku's also injured. Todoroki's not injured much at all, actually, just from fighting the Nomus. Yeah, I think this is a good place to leave it, due to the fact that Ida will not be back at UA for a month, so they would be delaying things for a long time. So things such as the finals will be delayed, so yeah, I think I'll end it here. So, see ya.